Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock, and yes, Kizzy Rock is my birth given name. Happy Friday, guys! I want to say hey to all my subscribers, new as well as seasoned. Got a word for you. Tap in, guys. You're probably going to hear some thunder. You guys know I love a good thunderstorm, but it's just starting up. So I want to share this recording. I want to give you guys 15 of the reasons why I feel the path of a chosen one can be so difficult. Now, granted, my chosen ones, right? And chosen is subjective, but we can probably give 1,000. But we're going to, do 15 for the sake of time and maybe do another recording soon. All right, no specific order, but let's dive in. All right, number one. Most chosen people that I know, you're empathic, right? So you're an empath. So it's like you carry other people's energy, which I believe that gift is so amazing in the sense of being able to tap into certain people who are not able to express themselves or like kind of bottle things up. But you know what they're going through, right? You know it. Where most people can kind of just overlook it and see it as, well, I mean, I guess they're fine. No, you're not fine, boo. You ain't fine. Come here. But on the flip side, you can be having a great day, great week, great month, and just boom, one thing happens. You hear something, you read something, someone sends you something, you're around a person, and their energy is heavy, sad, dark, whatever they're going through, depression, you will start to carry that stuff. It's almost like it shifts. It literally shifts. So, and most people in the world are what? Most people in the world are really going through stuff. So it's almost like you're bound to just run into something every day, right? All right, next thing. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's like you're up one day, you're down tomorrow. You're happy one day, you're sad the next day. You're celebrating one day, you're depressed the next day. It's an up and down roller coaster. It's like it's always something. So it's almost like when you're celebrating something, you just go ahead and look for something to hit you, right? You know something is coming, so just be prepared for it. I heard Pastor R.C. Blake say this morning on Bishop Samuel's live. He said something, and I was like, I thought I was the only person in the world, right? 'Cause I never heard anybody else talk about it. Like when you get hit with something, you need it will knock you off of your game for days. Right? Like and that's what happened to me. Something happened a couple of days ago and it just knocked me off of my game. And it can be anything. It could be anything, but if it's something that you feel you've been disrespected, someone's not appreciating things, someone's not grateful, somebody's playing with you all kind of way. Like it could be something that you find out and it will literally knock you off of your game. So with me, in order for me to speak, in order for me to pour in, I have to be in a certain place. And if I'm going through my own emotional place, I'm going to be snappy. I'm going to be rude, transparent moment here. So I just need to just chill, allow God that space to show me exactly where I went wrong so he can correct me. Because many times what happens is when you keep getting knocked from the same people, God have already shown you something. He's already shown you how to put boundaries in place. What happens is, as time go on, we get lax with those boundaries, right? Because see, it's one thing to put boundaries in place, right? And then it's another thing to enforce those boundaries at all time. But life happens and you kind of just, get lax and then boom, something happens. And now we're all in our feelings, we're all in our emotions, but truly that's just God saying, hey, I'm just bringing it back to your attention. You're slipping here, right? You're slipping here and you're too close to destiny, or you're already in destiny to be slipping about something that I brought to your attention and how to deal with certain people years ago. So when you give God that space, meaning you're not just all distracted, posting things, writing things, when you just sit and allow God that space, he will reveal to you exactly why you're hurt, where you went wrong. And then he'll tell you to fix it and get back on board. Number 4, everyone comes to you for the answers. And listen, I'm sure that probably sounds great, and it is for the most part. It is, but it's almost like if you're not careful, people would make you their God. People will come to you for advice, for questions, for wisdom, or whatever. And these are only questions that God can answer. So it's almost like when you have to tell them, like, listen, that ain't my land. You got to go here. It's almost like they get upset and they just feel like, well, why can't you tell me, right? So it's almost like people, they just come to you for everything. And it's almost like they forget or just don't care that you have your own stuff too. Like, can you call this person one time? Like, can you try yourself one time and just stop calling me for everything? I'm not God. I'm struggling just like you. Next thing, in saying that, many people come to us, but it's very rare that we have people we can turn to. Now, we might have those little solid, folks. It ain't gonna be much, I'll tell you that. It might be one or two, but for the most part, we always have to go to God. Always have to go to God, because it's almost like the people who you may want to call somebody just for some words of encouragement, and it's almost like the people are just like silent, because it's just like, well, you always have the answers. I mean, I don't know what to tell. Like, I don't even know, because you always know. And, bless their hearts. And I think some people are really genuine with that. Like, they kind of just, but yeah. So when we're going through our stuff, like, I mean, first and foremost, God should be who we go to anyway. But sometimes you just want another person who can be there for you the way you are there for them when they call and need some encouragement, et cetera, et cetera. But it's going to be very rare that you have these people. And again, if you have them, it's a solid couple of them, maybe a few, maybe one. All right, next thing. Oh, and so in saying that, we also find ourselves in isolation a lot. This is why you have a lot of chosen people who do well in solitude, because you're in your own mind. It's almost like you have to figure your own thoughts out. Of course, you go to God, but you got to kind of figure things out for yourself, because you don't have a lot of people you can really talk to who's going to get it. So you're in solitude. So now that you're around me and you're just talking to me, now it's just like Charlie Brown's teacher, womp, 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 womp. And I'm just like, please, let me be, right? Because I'm in my head and I know you can't really give me this answer. So let me just be in this corner by myself for an hour. Okay, next thing. It's hard to have a weak moment. It's hard to have a weak moment because everyone sees you as the strength, right? Like the saying says, check on your strong friends. But how many people really check on their strong friends? So it's almost like, if you have a weak moment, if your feelings are hurt, if you're frustrated, it's like when you call people to express why you're upset, why you've hurt my feelings, they're just kind of just like, because they always see you as the strong person, as if you're not human and like you don't have feelings, because they always see the strength in you. So it's almost like it's hard to be vulnerable, right? So yeah, next one, we are misunderstood a lot. I always say this: if I could only choose one word to describe myself, it will be misunderstood. For me, the reason why is because, again, most move in flesh. They see things from a fleshly manner. But when you're moving in spirit, you're just moving the way God is telling you to move, regardless if people understand it or regardless if they get it. If God says, hey, I'm okay with you this way, screw people, you just keep your heart pure X, Y, and Z, then it's like, I'm good. You're good. If you got purple hair with spikes in it, if you got piercings all down your face, listen, if God have said that's okay, you do what you do, regardless of what they may say. They may say you look like a freak, you look like this, you look like that. Listen, just as long as you feel like you have the okay from God, and there's not really anything, I guess, in the word that says you can't have a piercing in your nose. I don't even know if that's in the word, but listen, just do you. Just keep your heart pure. If your heart is pure and if you're obedient and you're trying, God got your back. Screw people. I'm telling you, screw people. All right, next thing is, can't read my own handwriting here. I'll come back to that. Another thing, and this is what gets me a lot. This is what sends me in a spiral a lot, is you see, or you want to see the best in people. So it's almost like this person could have proven to you 35,000 times that they're going to remain the way they are. They're never going to change. Like their actions is showing you like they're just whatever. They're just themselves. But you, right? Your spirit feels like, but I see more. I feel more. And you can, and you're probably correct. But if that person is not in alignment, if that person don't want to do better, there's nothing you can do. But then we find ourselves in this tailspin because we're still seeing the best in you. So now you want to have the 69th meeting about the same thing. I'm not doing that no more. Period. So I can see the best in you. I can feel the best in you. But until I see your feet moving in that direction, I'm not having no meetings. Leave me alone. God. Woo! Okay, next thing. This is extremely hard for me. I don't know why people don't understand how important gratitude is in the small things for the chosen ones. It's like we already know you can't give us much. You've proven that because I can't call you when I'm going through stuff. When I call you about why I feel disrespected or frustrated, you can't even tap into it because your mind is just foolish, right? So some gratitude. And gratitude is just not saying the word thank you. Gratitude is you appreciating. Gratitude is you taking care of. Gratitude is you showing your actions that you appreciate me for the small things. Gratitude is giving me a handwritten card versus $1,000 for a pair of red bottoms. Like I want that too. But I'm just saying, I would take the card more personal, right? Believe it or not, I'm telling you. So with chosen people, I mean, first of all, we're really not into the things that people think we're into. Like most people are just in like very materialistic. Don't get me wrong. We like nice things, right? We like nice things, but it just doesn't move us like the average person. So for us, it's the small things. Show me you respect me by, right? Show me you're grateful by honoring your word, taking care of the thing I've given you or I've blessed you with. When I tell you don't do this or do this because now you can jeopardize me, honor it with gratitude by respecting those small things. Gratitude will take you a long way. There are things, I'm telling you, I say it all the time, there's things that God has given me years ago, and I might happen to glance by it and see it. I might be sitting somewhere, and I'll just start praising God all over again. You got to appreciate the small things that God do for you. When you appreciate those small things, He will constantly open the door for larger things. I promise you. Obedience and gratitude is the flex. It's not rocket science. In alignment. The next one, number 13. Whatever number I'm at this one. One of them I can't read, so I kind of went back on my numbers. You're responsible for a lot of people. Now, granted, you're chosen, so obviously. So that can mean on your job, right? You can be maybe a shift leader. You can have a ministry. You could be a pastor or a leader or a bishop or whoever, respectfully. Or you can just be someone who's the head of your child's baking team. Like you're just responsible for a lot of people. And it's not like a bad thing. Even some of you guys, you may be responsible for your whole family. You may be from a family of 13 children. But you're that one. In every family is always that one, or maybe two, but it's always that one. It's always that one. Always that one or two. So you're just responsible for a lot of people because God entrusts you, right? He entrusts you. That's why you're chosen. You answer the call. He entrusted you, but you're responsible in some kind of way for a lot of people. Those can be assignments, right? Next, this is, I want to try to figure, because I want to really, really elaborate on this last one, but I want to try to find out my hand. Do you guys like write things and can't even like figure out your own handwriting? There was something I said. Oh, actually, never mind. It really is about boundaries, keeping boundaries in place. But I think I hit on that earlier. But yeah, but keeping boundaries in place is very hard. It's very hard because you love people unconditionally. And, you know, again, you just want to see the best in people. So God is clear. God is like, listen, don't you answer your call because this person is always toxic. You know, they always want something. So don't answer the phone, block this number, or just do this and don't do like... It's hard to keep those boundaries in place, but you got to keep those boundaries in place. You can mess around and miss a whole breakthrough if you're not firm on your boundaries. Again, God will sometimes allow things to happen. Don't beat yourself up. He'll allow something to happen where it just triggers you back to what he told you the first time. All right, so that. Now, this last one, I think many of you probably can relate to this, and that is when God places this burning desire in you, right? He gives you this desire. And it's like you just can't walk away from it. Where the average person, if they get frustrated long enough, if they feel like I'm gone. But with this desire, it's so profound. It's so, you can't even describe what the desire feels like. And people will think you're insane if they don't have that type of desire for something, or if God have never placed something down within them. And you can't even really explain what the outcome is, but you know it's something where you gotta keep on this path. And the crazy part is, if you want to walk away, you can't. If you walk away, it haunts you. You keep going back to it. And it's almost this thing in your head, like, I couldn't walk away if I wanted to. But because there's nothing to go back to. And it's like, I mean, where am I going? Right? Where am I going? So it's like, I don't want to say God trapped you, because that's not the word I'm trying to, it's not like he traps you, but he gets you to answer the call and don't tell you everything that's involved, because he knows if he do, you're bouncing, right? So, but once you get in this thing and you know destiny is close, but it's more difficult now, because of course, the more closer you get to destiny, the more difficult things become. Satan uses people in all kind of ways. He will use your own family against you. He will use, like, if your job, right? He attacks finances. He attacks health. So it's almost like it becomes more difficult towards, due season, destiny season, but you still can't turn back. And then you just feel like, I'm sitting here looking at people on a daily basis, and these people can they walk away from jobs, they walk away from marriages, they walk away from ministry. If they had enough, and they're just going to walk away. Like, I've had staff that just had a hissy fit and walk away, right? But with this, you cannot walk away. It almost feels like if you do, you're going to jail for a lifetime. That's what it feels like. So you're in this thing, right? We in here, right? We in here. But this thing ain't no joke, right? And God is so good that it's like the further you go and you want to quit, then he'll drop something, and then you celebrate, because it's like, woo, I'm on the right path. I have to be, because now this has happened, so it's all in alignment to it. But I think he only do that to keep you on the path, to know that you are on the right path. You are. Yeah, you're being attacked. Yeah, you're being this. Yeah, you're frustrated. You're such and such. You're happy one day, the next day you're pissed. Yes, all that stuff is life. That's life. That's life. But I'm going to show you something. I'm going to surprise you with something in the physical realm that's going to connect with the spiritual realm, so you can see exactly that you're on the right path. Then you really can't turn back then. You really can't turn back then, because it's like, well, I'll be darned. Well, I guess I'll just, But yeah, it's this burning desire. And it's hard to put into words or even like discuss it unless you're speaking. Honey, that thunder is everything. I don't feel no lightning, honey, but the thunder. Okay. So yeah, But this burning desire that you cannot put into words. The average person won't be able to understand it unless it's another chosen one or another spiritual person who's going through the same process, who's going through the same pathway to destiny. Of course, it's different destinies, different things like that. But the path, the struggles, all that stuff, it's still like this burning desire that just keeps haunting you. You crave it, but So guys, you guys have a great weekend. Oh, sis who asked me about the home tour. I if I do it, I'm really thinking about doing it, but it will either be next week in or the following weekend. But I will keep you guys posted on the community page. She wanted to see me break down all my different antique pieces and things like that, and I have a lot, so I have to really kind of like get some things together and like clean up, any evidence of, You guys have a great one. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.